Yeah.
You know,
I believe that the systems are doing exactly what they were designed to do. Like I don't think that there was
concentrate
ever
the wealth.
Yeah, I don't ever think that there was an idea that I want you to gain something out of this too, right? And it's this idea of convincing, and then you buy into it. And they put the amount of money they put into marketing is insane because they know that I read a study one time, and I don't remember the numbers, and I'm not a numbers person, so I can't quote it. But I remember they talked about the amount of followers as opposed to people that have individual thought, and it was insane. Like they broke it down to how many people are so easily kind of geared this way or that way. And, people that are free thinkers are sometimes ostracized, or you sound crazy because it's like, how dare you think for yourself? And how dare you say, oh, that's not right, or go against the grain, And so, but that's my little
look
tangent.
at how when everybody was making their profile pictures into that AI thing.
Oh,
and it was, it was just like,
with that, it's like, so make the little cartoon picture if you want. But I guess for me, it was when people would comment on the picture and say, "Oh, you look good," and they would say, "Thank you." It's like that's not you.
So I only saw that being elderly
missed
people.
that
I'm
one
sorry
too,
for
yes.
anybody that's on here. I only saw elderly people do that. I have a few
No,
family
I
members that
saw
do that.
all
Oh,
type of
goodness.
people doing that, and they were like, "Oh, thank you," and I'm like, "That is not you."
But
That
is it
not-
wrong for people to have one moment to feel good?
No.
Well, let's be real about it, though.
I agree, but they're gonna make me seem like I'm like the buzzkill.
No,
like you are the
no.
real.
Listen, people, listen, be you. No, listen. If that makes you feel good to say that cartoon image of you is makes you feel pretty, like go for it. Like I really don't care. But I just found it very interesting that people put it up and would say thank you to that. Like that's not you. So anyway, but I want to talk about AI a little bit. We have a few more minutes left, and just as we know in the news right now, there's been so many reports of companies saying or telling you that they're going to lay off thousands of people and put robots in there to do the work. And they're showing these robots, dancing and running around and lifting boxes and things of that nature. What do y'all think about that in regards to people losing their jobs, or is AI good? Like, or have we?
No.
Have we gone too far with it?
Terminator.
There's some movies like iRobot.
I think-
that's the one.
But there's so many movies from I actually made a list one day
here's-
and I never shared it because I typed it in on social media, then I took it down because I was like,
Because it was
people
a
think I'm crazy.
conspiracy.
Well, yes, because I'm like, I can tell you all these movies that literally have told us what the world will look like when this happens.
Yeah.
And it's actually happening right now.
I want
And
your list. Send your list.
I do have a list.
All
I have a
right.
couple lists.
So I think it was inevitable.
Yes.
I don't think it's inevitable. I don't think anything's inevitable except for
It's
my
the
own
toothpaste out of the tube. It's out there. I mean,
Well, that's not
companies-
inevitable.
Go back in, right.
It's never going to go back in. I mean, no, it was inevitable.
Watch me
Companies
try.
are always going to try to find a way to maximize their profit, make their life easier. We all try to make our life
Capitalism.
easier. You probably try to make your life easier as a teacher.
I do every day.
I'm sure
My
you
wife
do.
would disagree. I do everything to make my life as hard as possible. It seems.
And I'm not even trying to say it started innocent, right? But I use Copilot, right? But I'm not naive enough to think that by my use of Copilot, that means I'm limiting support I might need to pull reports together, right? So I know it limits jobs. It clearly limits jobs, and the toothpaste out of the tube. The question is, what are we going to do about it?
Yeah. I mean, what can we do about
right,
it?
well, so that's just it. I think I was telling a story before we started. I'm on the opposite side of labor. I negotiate our contracts for our company, right? But that doesn't mean I was asked by one of the labor from the union side, like if I would ever, hop the fence, so to speak. And I said, there's only really two things that would get me to hop the fence, right? Because I believe in open market and the kind of things like that. And the one is wage disparity. You're talking about, I've mentioned Elon a million times at this point, $1 trillion a year. I think that's a problem. I think it's also a problem, like AI is a problem. You can't unemploy everybody, right? But we would have to have our legislatures, which I have no faith that's going to happen. They would have to step up and have some kind of guidelines or guardrails, because we're just barreling down a path that's going to run straight into a wall. You can't have a whole society of people that are not employed or employable because we have everything's automated. I mean, I won't even, I know the boycott thing, like, I think you get to vote with your pocketbook, I won't go to
agree.
rallies or Taco Bell now because it's not a person that's taking my order. I didn't even know that till I went through rallies one time and I tried to like specialize my burger, and they're on to offering me cheesecake bites. I'm like, I was just trying to say all I wanted was mustard and pickle, and it was like going through its script already. And it took a minute for an actual person. And I said, whoever your owner is, tell him to not come back. Because I couldn't even order, like, all I want is like cheese, mustard, and pickle on my sandwich, and you're talking about cheesecake bites.
Well,
and
and
you're on to
because
the next
it
thing.
inconvenienced you.
Well, yeah, and I also know, I mean, I've been in HR a long time. It's not fun to restructure people out of a job, right? And I think it is, it happens all the time. I've had to do it. I had a job one time where I don't know if you ever saw the Up in the Air movie with George Clooney, but I was that guy for a job one time. I was not the welcome to the company guy, I was the other guy. So it's not, even when people lose their job and they deserve it, they still got to go home. They still got bills, they still have family, they still have responsibilities. So that I think it's a very scary situation. And I don't know that we have anything in place to hold back what I would otherwise think is an inevitable development.
I mean, seriously. I mean, and I guess the point that I was trying to make is that people speak up sometimes, in my opinion, when AI inconveniences them, right? I mean, that was an inconvenience for you because I don't like it. I remember I went to Taco Bell one time and they just had machines and you had to, and I was like, I don't have time for this. I didn't come here for this. My day has been hard. I don't want to talk to this machine, try to figure it out. So I left. It inconvenienced me. My thing is that for me, we need to have more of a overall awareness of what it's doing to everybody.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
So, like I said,
Matt,
with
what do you think?
my chosen profession, like people will talk about immigration and all the losing jobs like that. Automation has gotten rid of more jobs than immigration ever thought about happening. And this is just a higher form. Like automation for labor, like hard, like blue collar stuff has been around a long time. This is automation for not blue collar.
Right.
Right. And so
That's what I tell people. It's been here.
So
It's been here.
you look at where the U.S., how this country kind of thrived there for a while was goods and services. We weren't making products that went out to the rest of the world. We were making software, goods, services, things like that. But now we're going to undercut what the country got really good at by throwing AI in there.
Well, how far do they go? Because you think about it now. I was watching something where they were doing a surgery, and it was the robot doing the surgery. And it's just but then do you get to the point where you actually remove doctors out completely?
I don't think you can completely replace everything everywhere.
I am irreplaceable. I would like to
But-
see
yeah,
AI
but,
manage a bunch of third graders. It's not going to happen.
But,
They'll
there's
try it for a
things-
day. They'll be
yeah.
calling me, get back in this classroom.
The
but-
only natural limits that have come on there are things that will make it fail naturally, and they'll be very costly when they do fail. Like you think normal industry stuff, like put an AI in to do supply chain management, for example, or logistics, right? Because they'll hit certain triggers where it'll just order more stuff. But like you own a business, where but that AI has to assume certain conditions exist for it to order, right?
Right.
Well, those conditions are, we didn't, just even the Suez Canal like a few years ago when the freighter got stuck sideways and blocked it, right? I mean, so the AI will fail with those kinds of things, but it's still going to eliminate some jobs because you need one person.
Because we're constantly training it how to take our jobs. I mean,
we train it how to take our jobs, and then you
jobs.
need like a troubleshooter for when AI didn't work.
Yeah.
Right?
What you think? I want to hear your thoughts too, Matt.
Me about AI?
Yeah.
I think that if you're using AI, you're probably morally bankrupt in some respects. Because the only way the companies can make it profitable is through intellectual property theft, right? If they have to pay for the training data, they can't make money because it's too expensive. So, right, your access to New York Times that lets you read those things, they want that for free. Environmentally, it is horrible. It destroys the environments where these data centers are, and we always put the data centers in the communities that can least afford to have these things. In order to train it for things like content moderation, so you don't want you don't like child pornography or things like that. You have to give it data that it can learn from.
Right.
Right.
And how do you determine whether this image is
Okay.
right? You right? So but you can't do that. You can't have people do that in this country because it's illegal. So you put it into some developing nation where you pay someone, I don't know, 25 cents an hour to be psychologically scarred for the rest of their life, to train it, right?
Yeah.
And then every task you give it makes you dumber because, right? I've heard people say it's just like a calculator. And how many people can do, but how many people can do, long division in their head? How many people can multiply two-digit numbers in their head? Or a 2-digit number and a 1-digit number in their head? We got a calculator, I don't need to do that. You offload all of the thinking, all of the stuff that makes your brain function, and then you can't do the deeper tasks.
So sometimes even the simple tasks.
Yeah.
I mean, literally,
So you're giving up the thing that I think makes us human, the opportunity to think.
So in my district, we've been using an AI tutoring program for 5 years. I hate it. It's other states are starting to roll it out. We've been using it for 5 years. Students read to the computer. I still do like my small group intervention. They read with me. I make them read books. Like it's not like that's not happening in these classrooms that this program's in. But there's been some improvements over the course of the 5 years, but it's not great. I have students who are, they'll read a passage and the program doesn't hear them well, so then they're getting tutored on their own name that they know how to say and spell. But they just, the program didn't hear them correctly.
Well, it's not a human. It doesn't have emotion. It can't
Right.
understand like context.
Right. Or you'll have a kid who is at a 6th grade reading level in 3rd grade, which is great, but they don't want to read to this program because it's frustrating and they don't like it. It's not engaging. So they just sit there really quietly while the passage is open. And then the AI thinks, oh, they can't read it. They're struggling.
why
So
do you-
we'll
why
bump
do you
them
think,
down
like, the
to
school
a
system goes
kindergarten
to something
story.
like that?
And then these kids get like 2 sentences to read. And then they're like, oh, I
So
did
why
my
do you
story.
think we end up with why does the school system do something like that?
They think that based on testing data, which I could talk for an hour about, that kids need more. That's what they think, and that AI
that's good
is
perspective
because
in my head I'm thinking like, fewer teachers. Text. There's no tax
reading
dollars
scores
for it.
are bad. Really,
Yeah.
I watch 8-year-olds try to type a 5-paragraph essay like this, and they can't do it,
Right.
and then that docks their reading score. So they can read.
Well, I saw an
Most of
article where they
them.
were taking all the analog clocks out because they said, well, kids can't read it anymore. So it's like, well, teach them. Like I know. I just don't believe taking away, like you talked about, the things that make us who we are and like superpowers, right? I mean, our brain, our hearts, all those things help us become individuals, right? So when you have all these robots and different, then you become these in boxes, you know what I mean? And these replicas as opposed to being individual. And I'm just really, really passionate about being an individual.
You can see that now, though, Erin.
Yeah.
When it comes down to us, we're all talking, articulating well together, but then I deal with a lot of younger people who were home at their critical years during COVID, and we're interacting with a laptop. So when I have to hire, it's such a divide. I want to hire someone young and spry and this and that, but they don't know how to communicate. And so what's going to continue to happen is if you're speaking to a computer,
They're
you're
not
definitely,
getting those
just
social
simple eye
cues.
contact.
Yep.
And I hate to be that older person who's
Or even get off my lawn, but or even like they have this, right? So like.
I mean, when I
Yeah.
go to Kroger, like I'm getting groceries and they're on their phone and hi, hello, how are you?
They don't
You know,
even say,
it's-
"Can I help you?" anymore. They just look at you, and then you're
Yeah,
like,
they don't know.
"Oh, we're
Yeah.
both here," and then they go, "Are you ready?" "Oh, I didn't know you were ready for me." Like I didn't know, and I talked to a regional manager that runs a McDonald's, and she said that they literally have to teach children how to sweep because they just don't know how to.
Believe it.
They don't know how to do it. And
Yeah.
I said, oh my goodness. And they say you have to teach them to say, how are you? And can I help you? Because those type of lessons were not taught. And I don't know about you guys, but I was raised where you had to say hello. You walk into a room, you speak.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just kind of how we
Same.
were raised. And so the fact that kids aren't
And then they take
It's really
home economics
perplexing.
out of schools too, where we
Oh yeah,
learn
that's
how.
been gone.
I
Oh
don't know if
yeah.
they're cursive writing any longer.
I teach cursive.
Oh, you do good. Oh good.
I need to relearn because all I've ever used in cursive the last 20 years is my signature.
And it's just chicken scratch. I mean, I don't.
It doesn't spell anything.
But it'll let you vote.
It'll let me vote. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, like what you were saying with the social cues, those are missing with kids. And when they get in arguments, they're not outside playing with their friends, they're on a video game with their friends. So when they get in arguments, they just hang up on them, take off the headset, run away. So they can't even regulate their emotions or like understand how to disagree. And then they go into school and they freak out. And
They
it's,
become these big people that still don't know how to
Yeah.
communicate, which is a great way to wrap this up. Okay. I love how you brought that up because I didn't even realize we were so over time. This is so good for me. I love stuff like this. You know, the organic dialogue and conversation. And again, I think that is why it's so important to have spaces where you create conversation, that you can be emotionally intelligent to be able to say, you know what, I don't agree. I don't agree with that, or I agree with that, and not go into a rage. And we're seeing that now where people just do not know how to communicate. So I appreciate you guys for taking the time to come out and be a part of our Gray Area series. I think this is so important to talk about the gray area because nothing is black and white for the most part, right? It's very nuanced. And there's so many different things. I mean, you know, I can make so much judgment about you as a teacher. I'm not in the classroom with you. I have no idea. So you have to come and share those stories for, you know, us to know as an entrepreneur and just in all of our different fields, you know, it's so in ways of life, it's important for us to have these discussions. So I appreciate you guys so much. Did you have anything you want to say something, Matthew? Matthew.
No. I mean, it's just, you said nothing is black and white, and I'm like, well,
Most things
maybe
are.
that statement is black and white. Right? It's the whenever someone is like, I believe all things in moderation, right? That's a very extreme position, I think.
Okay. No.
Right?
We were all in the chorus together. So
Yep.
Matthew is, I know, I love it. I love it. No, I just think that a lot of things are not as black and white as we try to.
I agree.
Yeah, and that we need to venture into those nuances. But thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Yes.
Getting to meet everybody.
Yes.